Welcome to Mamahood After Trauma, where healing and mamahood intersect. I'm Emily, your host. Join us as we discover practical strategies to nurture ourselves with kindness and understanding. Stay tuned for insights and inspiration to support you on your path of healing and growth. Let's dive in together. This is Mamahood After Trauma. Hello, Mama, and welcome to this bonus episode of the Mamahood After Trauma podcast. I am so excited that you have taken some time out of your busy mama schedule to tune in and listen. If this is your first time listening, welcome. My name is Emily Cleghorn, and regular episodes of the Mamahood After Trauma podcast go live every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Atlantic. And those are conversational episodes where I have a conversation with another expert in the field. And on Fridays, I do a solo episode to share my expertise with you. So welcome. I am a holistic trauma recovery coach, and I am super passionate about helping mamas who have trauma in their past to reclaim their inner strength and work through their triggers so that they can create the joyful, loving, peaceful mamahood that they desire and show up for their kids in a way that is peaceful and loving and nurturing, and fear isn't running the show. So in this episode today, we are going to talk about how to identify your triggers. And I think this is an important topic to discuss because as trauma survivors, we have a tendency of stuffing. We stuff down those uncomfortable feelings, and chances are we never learned how to regulate our emotions in childhood, and we were gaslit, we were manipulated, we were all of those types of things. And so now in motherhood, we have the choice, the task of learning how to regulate our emotions if we choose to, so that our kids don't pick up our habits of blowing up, stuffing our emotions, and so that we don't teach them those habits. So on my personal journey, motherhood was extremely triggering for me. Like my nervous system could not handle any extra stimulant. And so over the last 6 years, I have been learning how to heal my nervous system. And that is really the key, one of the keys anyway, in trauma recovery. Your nervous system has learned how to live in fight or flight, or learn how to live waiting for the other shoe to drop. And so now we need to come out of that. That is part of healing. And in doing that, we are healing our nervous system. So if you are not familiar with your emotions and how different emotions feel in your body, that, which is something that I struggled with at the beginning of my journey, that is really the first step, is recognizing how different emotions feel in your body. So if you are feeling anxious, okay, just for an example, if you are feeling anxious, what does that feel like in your body? I'm going to encourage you to get curious. Okay. This is not so that you can judge yourself or condemn yourself. Those things are not helpful, but getting curious helps you to get in touch with the parts of yourself that you have numbed out in survival. So when you feel anxious, what does that feel like in your body? Does your chest feel tight? Where in your body do you feel it? Do you feel your anxiety in your shoulders? Do you feel it in your gut? Do you feel it in your back? Like, where in your body does it give you a headache? Where in your body does that emotion show up? We interrupt this amazing conversation for a word from our sponsor. Are you tired of feeling like you're on an emotional roller coaster in mamahood? Ready to break free from the fear and frustration that's holding you back? Introducing Mama Untriggered private podcast series, a transformative 5-episode journey to help you calm your nervous system and reclaim your strength in mamahood. In each episode, we'll guide you through practical, actionable steps to understand your triggers, build your trigger toolbox, and harness the power of community for support. Say goodbye to those moments of overwhelm and hello to more peaceful, empowered you. You didn't become a mama to spend your day on edge. It's time to take control of your emotional well-being and create a positive, joyful experience for you and your littles. Ready to break free from the emotional roller coaster? Subscribe now to the Mama Untriggered private podcast series and start your journey to a calmer, happier mamahood today. And just doing this practice will help you to tune into what you're feeling in your body. Because when you were in the depths of your trauma, you were not tuned in to how you were feeling in your body. You were tuned into how the heck am I going to survive? And so now, coming out of that, turning inwardly and tuning back into your body and internalizing, I am safe. Allowing yourself to feel safe. So, what types of events, what types of symptoms might be triggering for you? Well, that completely depends upon what your trauma was. If, for example, I'll use myself. My trauma was a lot of yelling. It was a lot of uncertainty. There was there was abandonment. So those types of events that the types of events that are triggering for me include those types of scenarios. So maybe my family has made plans and something happens out of my control and uncertainty comes up. That in the past, and still a little bit now, if I'm being honest, is triggering for me. Or, for example, my kids being toddlers and young elementary school aged children, they're loud. That's just how they are. Kids are loud. But too much loud volume for me can be triggering. And when they were younger and we were dealing with colic and acid reflux and all of those types of things, and their only way to communicate with me was crying, that was really challenging because it was noisy all of the time. And I was not as far along on my healing journey. So those were some very triggering days. And so today we're just talking about getting curious and identifying what your triggers are. And so really, step one is to get curious and begin to question yourself. What am I feeling? Where am I feeling that emotion in my body? What is it about this situation that I'm finding triggering? What memory is this situation right now reminding me of that is triggering me? Because I can tell you with 100% certainty, when you are triggered by an event that is happening or a situation that is happening with your children, you are not reacting to how your child is behaving. Your body is your mind has brought forth a memory of a traumatic event, an event that you internalized as traumatic, and is reacting to that. It is no longer about your kid. It's about you and your inner child and that event that happened to you X number of years ago. So getting curious and asking yourself, what is it about this event that is triggering me? Why is it triggering me? And as you begin to understand and develop an awareness, you're able to then reframe and work through the trigger so that it's no longer a trigger. So this is step one in a longer journey. And this step may take some time depending on how safe you feel. So if this episode was valuable for you, I would love, or you need support in this step of the journey, I would love to invite you to check out the Mama Untriggered Starter Kit. And this starter kit will help you work through the rest of the steps in becoming untriggered. And if you need support, my inbox is always open. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to tune in to this episode of the Mamahood After Trauma podcast. If you would like more of the Mamahood After Trauma community, make sure to look in the description of this episode for the link to become a Mamahood After Trauma Inner Circle member. Until next time, Mama, keep